What's up guys, JayzTwoCents here, and today we're going to talk about how to take this boring looking AIO cooler and make it look awesome with CableMod's new AIO Sleeving Kit. They're calling it their mod sleeve, and they're already known for making power supply cables and sleeves, but now they're taking it to the next level with AIO sleeving so that you can really tie in a theme to your whole system, even if you're not using a custom water cooling loop, which I think you should be, but if you're not, you can make it look cool with this too. So what I'm holding right here is their Series 2, and this is advertised as working with the EVGA closed loop coolers, the 120, the 240, as well as the NZXT Kraken series of coolers. So I've got my NZXT cooler right here. This is the Kraken X41, I think it is. We used this on a GPU loop a little while back, and we've got 5 different colors right here. So they're all pretty much the same, they're just different colors. We've got, this is carbon, white, green, light blue, and red. I think I'm gonna go with white. White seems to be the color that a lot of people are really kind of bringing back. There was a while there where white builds were kind of the thing, and then they went away, and now they're back. But this is very similar to the type of sleeving material you would find on a sleeved power supply cable kit. But as you can see, it's not solid, it's basically a wrap. So it wraps around itself, and it's basically advertised as being toolless. You don't have to take your loop apart, you don't have to drain it. You just wrap this around the sleeves that are already on there, or the tubes, and then you put the clips on the end, and it sounds pretty easy. It shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully it'll work. But something else I'm gonna do too is I'm also gonna take one of the kits and I'm gonna try them on a loop or a kit that's not advertised, because I'm curious as to how well this will work on other AIOs on the market that are not necessarily on the list. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at our Kraken here. It's already sleeved. This is more of like a paracord sleeve, so it's more of a fabric, where this is definitely a plastic. So it's not gonna slide around, at least on this, and it shouldn't slide around on even rubber tubing on something like an H100. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's try this and see how well this works. I think it'd be easier to have this basically as stretched out as possible, so you're not working with the loop, or at least some sort of a curl in there. But I also feel that this might be easier if it's already in the system, but whatever, it's not installed. There's definitely a lot of curl in this though. I mean, it's definitely gonna curl up on itself. So you're gonna kind of open it up, get it started, and then you're just gonna sort of work it kind of back and forth as you're, this sounds like a tutorial for something else, but yeah, see, it's not that hard to get on there. And you wanna make sure it's straight. You don't want it to be kind of, I don't know, twisted so that one side is like that. You wanna try and make that as straight as possible. And then you want to sort of stretch out the length. See how we're kind of getting this right here, how it's longer on one side? We don't want that. So we want to try and work that out as much as possible. And there's that. So you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. If you have black tubing, it's going to sort of be visible through there. And you can also rotate this too, so that the seam, which is right here, obviously you can see it's going to be darker right there. We can rotate that so it's sort of out of view. So however it's going to be in your system, you can make it look the way you want. But once it's put together, you can twist it. So also in here, you're gonna find some instructions. I've already started kind of showing you guys how to do that, but the instructions are right here. And then on the bottom, you're gonna find the clips that are basically clamshell clips. And what that means is they are 2 halves that are going to snap together to hold this into place. Also too, it's gonna be kind of hard. Now this might be kind of hard to pick up on camera. There is a little bit of a lip inside of there, you can kind of see. And what you're gonna do is you are going to take your sleeving, leave it about 2 millimeters away from the end of the tubing right here, and then you are going to make sure that the lip side is facing down. So that gives the sleeving something to kind of butt up against to want to stay into position. And you're gonna put on 1/2 just like that. This is the part here where you've gotta have some finesse. And let's face it, I don't have a lot of that. I don't have a lot of finesse. They will click into place because they have these little barbs that they're gonna catch on. So there we go, we got 1/2 of that on there right there. And we can rotate around the clip. And it's gonna be under quite a bit of pressure though, because these are thick, but you want it to hold tight because you don't want it to pull out. There's a joke there. There we go. Stretch it back out. And there's 1/2. Just like that, there. So here's what the final product looks like right here. And again, they have multiple colors for this. I'm not a huge fan of the retaining clips. I mean, so far they seem to be remaining in place. Every now and then I gotta kind of re-clip one, but once it's in place and it's not moving around, there shouldn't be any issues. And obviously this allows you to just add a bit more splash of color to your build when using something basic like an AIO. Why do I suck at unboxing so much? You know, the only thing I can think of that actually makes these, you know, designed for specific coolers is that the length is going to be specific to the length of tubing on those coolers. But I want to try it now with something like this that has this FEP tubing that is absolutely awful. I hate FEP tubing. Brands keep using them. I keep telling them to stop it and they keep doing it. I mean, essentially what we're doing here is the exact same thing you would do with a PSU power cable, except we're doing it with tubing, right? So we're gonna measure our length, and it looks like we are just barely too long, which really kind of sucks because it means we're gonna have to trim it. And after we trim it, it means we're gonna have to remelt the ends, that way they don't unravel. So now we're gonna go melt these ends. Now I pretty much already know that the caps are not gonna fit on these tubes because they are thicker. So we are gonna pretty much do this the ghetto method of using zip ties. But you know what? This is one of those things where I would rather use a zip tie on this and have it look a little bit ghetto than to have the full ghetto of FEP tubing. I mean, I know I probably sound like I'm getting really caught up on how much I hate FEP, but I can't really put into words just how much FEP tubing bothers me. I mean, I just cannot describe it. Now, isn't that just a whole lot better to look at than that FEP tubing? I mean, yeah, the zip ties, you know, but they're bringing it back, the ghetto mod days. No, honestly though, I think that looks a whole lot better. So that is it. Tell me what you guys think of CableMod's new AIO Sleeving Kit. You can find links on where to purchase it in the description box below this video. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see this available in longer spools of raw material format, because you could use this on any tubing, including your custom water cooling loop. So make your AIOs look awesome, make your custom loops look awesome without having to use colored dye. And yeah, so I think there's a lot of purposes to this. It's basically just, like I said, like fatter versions of PSU cable sleeving. So with that said, I'm gonna go. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it. And if you're new around here, why don't you consider subscribing, and you can see all kinds of computer stuff. And that's what we do around here. We do computer stuff. Yeah. All right, I've said enough, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.